Welcome back to the Tiger Den podcast. I'm Tiger, and we are back in the shop today to talk about something that drives every beginner, and honestly, some pros, absolutely up the wall. We are talking about the lumberyard paralysis.
Oh, I know that feeling well. You walk into a hardwood dealer, you see stacks of wood reaching the ceiling with names like Ipe, Babinga, Winge, and Zebrawood, and you just want to turn around and walk back to the car.
Exactly. There are literally hundreds of species available out there. But here's the thing, you don't need to know all of them. In fact, if you're trying to build a solid foundation in woodworking, you should probably ignore 95% of them. Today, we're stopping the insanity. We're going to narrow it down to the core four woods that will handle almost every project you'll ever want to make.
That's a relief. So we're cutting through the noise. But before we get to the specific species, why is it so confusing? Is it just the names, or is the wood actually that different?
It's both. Woods differ in density, grain pattern, how they take finishes, and most importantly for your wallet, price. I learned this the hard way. I once tried to build a simple bookshelf out of a super oily exotic wood because I liked the color, and my glue wouldn't stick, my saw blades got gummed up, and I ended up wasting $200.
That sounds like a nightmare. So, what you're saying is, even if it looks pretty, it might be a total pain to work with.
Absolutely. So let's start with the ultimate training wheels wood. If you are just starting out, or if you want to build high quality furniture without breaking the bank, you go with Humpopler Poniamto.
Poplar? I've seen that at the big box stores. It's the one that's kind of greenish gray, right? It's not exactly the showstopper wood I see on Instagram.
You're right, it isn't the prettiest girl at the dance. But here's a pro tip. Poplar is the best utility hardwood on the planet. It's relatively soft for a hardwood, so it's easy on your tools, it's cheap, and it takes paint better than almost any other wood. If you're building a built-in cabinet, a workbench, or a painted coffee table, Poplar is your best friend.
Wait, can you explain that more? If it's soft, does that mean it's not durable?
It's plenty durable for indoor furniture. It won't stand up to the weather like oak, but for anything inside the house that's getting painted, there's no reason to spend three times the money on something else.
Okay, so poplar for paint, but what if I want that classic wooden look? You know, the grain, the stain, the I made this from a tree vibe.
Then you move up to the king of the shop, white oak, or red oak if you're on a budget.
Now, I've heard oak can be boring or dated. Is that true?
Only if you style it like it's 1985, oak is a powerhouse. It's incredibly strong, it's rot resistant, especially white oak, and the grain is iconic. Here's a pro tip. If you want oak to look modern, don't use those heavy honey oak stains. Using a clear matte finish on white oak gives you that beautiful high-end Scandi look that's all over the design world right now.
That's interesting. So it's more about the finish than the wood itself. Is oak hard to work with? I've heard it's unforgiving.
It is hard. It can dull your chisels faster than poplar, and it's prone to splintering or tear out if your tools aren't sharp. But that's why it's on the list. It teaches you to respect your tools. If you can work oak, you can work almost anything.
Okay, so we have poplar for paint and oak for strength and classic grain. What's the luxury option? What do I use if I want to make a jewelry box or a really nice dining table?
That's where black walnut wand comes in. If woodworking had a gold standard, it's walnut. It is arguably the most beautiful domestic wood we have. It's a deep, rich chocolate brown.
I've seen walnut pieces and they always look so expensive. Is it actually hard to work with, or are we just paying for the color?
Honestly, walnut is a dream to work with. It cuts like butter. It smells amazing, kind of earthy and spicy, and it takes a finish better than almost any other wood. But here's where I learned things the hard way. Price. Walnut is expensive. When you go to the lumberyard, you're going to see a price tag that might make you sneeze. My advice? Save walnut for the visible parts of a project. Build the frame out of something cheaper and use walnut for the top or the drawer fronts.
That makes sense. Use the good stuff where it counts. So we've got poplar, oak, and walnut. What's the fourth one?
On hard maple. If you've ever looked at a cutting board or a bowling alley lane, that's maple. It's incredibly dense, very pale, almost white, and it is tough as nails.
So, what you're saying is if I'm making something that's going to get abused, like a kitchen island or a workbench top, maple is the choice.
Exactly. It's the indestructible option. But a pro tip for the listeners, maple is notorious for burning. If your saw blade is a little dull or you move too slowly, it will leave these dark burn marks that are a total pain to sand off. You have to keep your tools sharp and your movement steady.
This feels way more manageable already. Poplar for paint utility, oak for durability, Bjarre tradition, walnut for beauty, and maple for toughness. But what about all those exotic woods you mentioned at the start? The ones with the crazy names.
Forget them for now. Seriously, a lot of those exotic woods are oily, which means they won't take regular glue. Some of them have dust that is actually toxic and can cause skin rashes or breathing issues. Stick to the core four while you're learning. They are predictable, they are available at almost every lumber yard, and they are the foundation of 90% of the furniture you see in high-end stores.
So, if I'm heading to the lumberyard this weekend, what's my game plan? How do I actually pick the right boards from these core four?
Great question. Here is your actionable checklist. First, check the moisture. If the wood feels heavy or damp, leave it. You want kiln-dried lumber so it doesn't warp when you get it home. Second, look for straightness. Sight down the edge of the board like you're aiming a rifle. If it looks like a banana or a potato chip, put it back. You want flat and straight. And third, always buy 20% more than you think you need.
20%? That sounds like a lot of extra money.
Trust me, I learned this the hard way. You will make a wrong cut. You will find a knot in the middle of a board that you didn't see at the store. That extra board is project insurance. It's much cheaper than having to stop your project, drive back to the yard, and try to find a board that matches the color of what you already bought.
That is a solid tip. I think I'm ready to stop the insanity and just stick to the basics.
That's the goal. Woodworking should be about building, not stressing over a Latin name on a wood sample. To wrap things up today, stop overcomplicating it. Pick one of the core four, poplar, oak, walnut, or maple, based on what you're building, and just get started.
And if you do get started, we want to see it.
Absolutely. Tag us in your shop photos on social media, Railroad Tiger Den Podcast. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It really helps the show reach more makers. Next week, we're talking about the 5 tools you actually need. And spoiler alert, you don't need a $5,000 table saw to get started.
Can't wait for that one. See you in the shop.
Keep building, everyone.